also announce it on my Discord. Okay. Should I send you the Twitch link, or did I send you? Have I sent you the Twitch link?
You sent me the Twitch link.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Nice. Okay. It's loading for me so slow. Okay, it's working. Okay, let me change my position. Okay, everyone, can you girls and guys hear us on the stream and the quality is good? Hölgyek, urak, jó a minőség? So if I'm looking to the right side, it's because my chat is there.
So, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry for that. I still have to figure out in a small room how to set up everything to be straightforward. Minden oksi, hang és kép is oké? És jó, akkor kezdhetjük. Is it good? Everything is good? You can hear Karolina as well. And me too. Quality is good. We are moving our hands. Everything is good. Doki, szia neked is. Not laggy. Minden jó. Jó. Okay, they are saying everything is fine. Hopefully the lurkers will wake up as well. Lurkers. So yeah, okay. If you're done with it, we can start then.
Yeah, sure, let's start.
Okay. So I'm very honored and very thankful that you have accepted my request for this video interview, the 10th episode of Dev Life of mine. And yeah, welcome in my Dev Life show.
Thank you.
And so yeah, I would like to ask you for a little bit of introduction, first of all.
Well, my name is Karolina. I'm an animator. I've been in game dev for over 5 years now, but I didn't start as an animator.
Okay.
I started as a writer, then I tried a little bit as a level designer, but ultimately I became an animator.
Okay.
I started in a studio called Carbon Studio. They are doing VR games, and right now I'm in full studio.
I see. And what you made to switch from being a writer to animator? What's the story behind that?
To be honest, mostly the job availability.
I see.
It's much easier to find a job when you have technical skills. When you, well, at this point in game dev, there was a bit of a niche for animators.
I see.
So I was like, well, I need a job, and animating doesn't sound that bad. So I learned animating and joined a studio.
I see. And do you like miss writing, or do you still write as for yourself or as a hobby?
I used to, but I kind of stopped. It's kind of like coming and going for me. I always wanted to be a writer, but in the back of my head, I knew that it's not going to be sustainable. And I kind of, I knew I needed something else. So sometimes I write, but that's very, very rare at this point.
I see. And is it like a future plan for you to still be a writer? Like you?
No.
Not
it's
anymore?
just no.
And what kind of stories have you been writing?
Random stuff, to be honest. When I was, because I started as a game writer in a studio that died and the game never came out, but it was science fiction.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of dabbled in fantasy and stuff, but random stuff. Few let's say, few paragraphs, just like that.
I see. Okay. So for me, it's always interesting to hear like the origin story of a person who made into being a game developer and started to loving video games. So what's your origin story? What's your childhood memories that you started to love video games, and how that developed you to become a game developer?
Well, I don't have that many childhood memories of gaming. I was kind of
Okay.
I was this kind of loner kid that read books.
Oh, okay.
And I played a few games. Like I remember playing Siberia when I was a
Oh,
kid.
nice.
I remember playing the first Tropico games, stuff like that. But in general, when I consciously started gaming was around high school.
I see.
Then how it turned out to be game development, uh, I went to university for Italian philology. I spent there 2 years and decided that's not for me, and I kind of didn't know what to do with myself.
Oh, okay.
And there was this major in Silesian University that combined English philology with game development.
Oh, okay. Interesting combination.
Yes, very interesting combination, let me tell you. But this kind of triggered this thought in me. Hey, maybe I'll start making games.
I see.
And I went there, and well, I'm making games.
Oh, nice. Okay. And so yeah, as you started developing your skills in as a game dev, then so what was the influence behind that you became first a writer? I'm guessing that you read a lot of books and you love to write, right?
Kind of, yes, but it's like when you're in university, when
Okay.
you have to have the like 30 hours of work in the industry.
Oh, okay.
And it's mandatory, and it's very, very, very hard to find this kind of work for a student. So I was kind of lucky, and I found an offer for a writer. Like, not really for a writer, but they just wanted, a student to work for them.
I see.
And it turned out to be a writing job. And I was like, fine, we can do it. And that's how I became a writer for a year, I think. I did the 30 hours, but then the guy said, well, we need more writing. So I just,
you can do
give
it
you
more.
a job.
Yeah. I see. And were your like family and close friends supportive about your choice to be a game dev? Like, were they supportive, or how they saw your choice, or what they're?
They didn't really, let's say, they didn't really understand it that much, but
Okay.
they weren't against it.
I see. So
Yeah,
it's like a win-win situation, I guess.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. And what was your favorite game so far that you have been playing?
Oh my god, that's a
Since
very
your
tricky
childhood.
question. I hate this question because I really can't choose.
Okay, name more. Name more if you cannot choose one. Yeah,
No,
it's hard. Of
just,
course, it's hard. Yeah, there are a lot of
yeah,
games out there which are good.
yeah. Right now, my favorite game. I don't know. I love Hades.
Okay.
I kind of well, I had this thing for Destiny too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like I started playing on year 1, and then I kind of had a break. Then I came back in the Forsaken and played it like a lot. And then I stopped at Witch Queen and came back right now. So I would say Destiny used to be my go-to game.
I see.
For a very long time. I don't really know. My love for RPGs, for example, started with Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I can't think of anything else right now.
Those are great games, and I can see the similarity behind the turn-based system of Dragon Age. You love to turn-based games, and your game that you developed. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So what do you think was the main influence before making the game that you worked on now, the Thaumaturge? What was the main influence of making the game? How do you see it?
You see, I didn't join the Thaumaturge team until like 2 years into its development.
Okay.
So I wasn't there at the start.
Okay.
I didn't really get the from the scratch experience in this particular game. I think, well, most of the influence to the Thaumaturge came from the Warsaw, and trying to show the this exact moment of time, which is very niche. There isn't much about it, and at the before World War One, so they really wanted to show that time, and since there were a lot of people in the team that were connected with Warsaw, even though they didn't live there, they were deeply connected with Warsaw. They wanted to show Warsaw before war.
I see.
So I want to say it was this.
I see.
Then there was the kind of the aesthetic theme of the game with the salutars to kind of give this low fantasy vibe, and also use the monsters from the well, not just Slavic, but also different European places.
Yeah.
Forgetting the words. Yeah,
so
but
when you joined the team before that, how did you find about the opportunity to work for them? What's the story
I found
behind
it. I just found the offer on the internet. I was I was just
like
starting.
The love for the first site, the game?
Well, I didn't know what they were doing at the time. I had no idea.
Okay.
I was just actively looking for a job.
I see.
At this time, and I saw the offer, and I knew one of my friends from my previous team worked there, and I wrote up to him if he likes it, and if he recommends it, and he said, yeah, come here, basically. And well, I just sent my CV and then got it.
I see.
And well, I learned about the game after joining the team.
I see.
It wasn't announced yet or anything. There wasn't anything about it.
I see. And so during the developing process, what was the best and the worst memories of the main route, the main road of making the game?
Well, my best memories are with the salutars, definitely.
Okay.
I had the pleasure of animating them, a few of them, and well, that was a lot of fun. I also got to work with motion capture, which I didn't get to do before.
So it was a new experience for you.
Yeah, it was definitely a new experience. It was interesting, definitely, and broadened my horizons, kind of. But when it comes to the worst one, I don't know. Maybe the last few months of development. There was a lot of going on, and well, I can't get into details, but the deadlines were tight, and really had to speed up the process. At the time, part of the team was already dealing with the Witcher remake, so there wasn't many of us to deal with it. So yeah, I think that was the worst part.
And so before you get into the gaming industry, or before you got into the gaming industry, were there times where you're like not sure about your path, like you are going in the right direction, or you wanted to give up like your dream to become a game developer?
For a moment, yes. I mean, I didn't really think about it that much.
Okay.
I had this small gig as a level designer. I needed to get a job, like full-time job,
I see.
because the level designer job was part-time. I really needed a full-time job at the time, and the guy told me that he can't give me the full-time job, so I had to figure out anything. So I went to work as an IT help desk. It was an interesting experience, let me tell you. Working with people was not for me.
I see.
Well, yeah, but while I was working there, I had this little,
But maybe they influence you to animate the monsters in such a weird way, If you didn't like them, then you can animate them into a game. I'm just
possibly,
joking, of
yeah.
course, but yeah.
Yeah, but at the time I was kind of, unsure whether I'll make it
I see.
into game dev back again. But yeah, I
What made you
decided
think
to.
in a positive way at that time of your life? What helped you overcome your,
Well, there was my
fears?
boyfriend who kept telling me that I'm gonna make it,
Nice.
and
He was supportive then, nice.
yeah, he was very supportive of me. And well, I just kind of, the job as an IT help desk kind of motivated me that, well, this is not what I want to do. So
It was not that interesting.
it kind of, it motivated me itself to just look for, expand my skills, do something
I see.
to find a better job.
Is there anything that's like that's you learned from IT help desk that helped you grow into a better developer? Do you feel like you learned some skills that in any case as an IT help desk?
I learned how to troubleshoot many Windows
Okay.
problems.
Okay. So it helped you. That's the case. Okay. It was
A little bit,
positive
maybe.
for your.
Apparently, turning it off and on again really works most of the time.
Yeah, exactly. It's simple, but it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so, how do you see yourself in the future? So, what do you have any plans for, like making your own game, or are you planning to
Definitely
still
not.
not? Okay. And
Definitely
why?
not my own game.
But why?
Well, you see, to develop your own game, you need to make your own studio, come up with a idea and stuff. Everyone has ideas, right? You come up to a random guy on the
Yeah,
street
but
and
you
he
were a
has
writer, so you have a lot of good ideas, I guess.
yeah, but like ideas is one thing. You have to turn this idea into something playable. It's not just an idea that
Yeah,
makes
it's
the
true.
game. It
It's true.
has to
It's
be.
not
It
easy.
has to be the
Yeah.
whole
I got you.
process.
I got you.
Like it's easy to have an idea, but to turn it into something actually good is a whole damn process that's
Yeah, true.
very difficult, and that's why a lot of games fail.
Yeah, true.
And
I agree.
on the other hand, I don't think I could run a studio.
I see.
That's really
But
not for me.
maybe there will be a switch in your life. Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe, but I doubt
I
it.
hope though. I hope though that you will get back to writing, because writing is a very cool thing to do, and I write myself as well, and I think that in any part of your future life, I think you will miss it. So
Possibly.
if I can say that, I think that you should get back to writing in some years later. But yeah, it's up to you, of course. But yeah. Okay, so
Sure.
when making Thaumaturge, were there like moments when like you and your colleagues wasn't sure if someone's idea was the right idea? Like when there
All of
was
the
a
time. Like,
okay. And
yeah, there was
how
plenty.
did you guys and girls solved it? Like how is the process in a
You see,
team to solve
well,
if there's a misunderstanding between ideas?
well, you see, as an animator, you don't really get that many problems like that.
Okay.
We're asset makers, basically. We are told to do this and this and this, and you have a list, and you just animate. You do your stuff. When I said that there were cases like people not agreeing on an idea or something, it was outside my department mostly.
Okay.
So I just watched from from behind how they dealt with it. Mostly, they just had very long calls.
Crunch time
And
calls.
yeah, basically. So well, for me, there weren't really that kind of situations. As I said, we were mostly, we have our software, we just do our stuff, and sometimes there comes there comes a problem to deal with, and we just decide on how to deal with. Mostly, we agree on just one solution because there aren't that many solutions to animator problems.
I see.
But yeah, I guess when it comes to the whole team, they just had really long calls
I see.
to deal with their stuff.
I see.
And well, they tested a lot. Like there were, let's say, it's just a example. Let's say there was this thing with UI that they weren't sure if it was readable. Some people said that it was, some people said that it wasn't. So they made a kind of this questionnaire for the whole team to just guess if the symbol matches the right thing.
I see.
And with that questionnaire, they solved whether they were readable or not.
I see. Okay. So, and were there times like you were like when you were making like these monsters into the game? Were there times when you wanted to like change them a bit, like as for your style, or do you see yourself like you wanted to have like your, I wouldn't say like, yeah, let's say owner idea or own idea, like to change a bit?
There was one time
Okay.
with one of the monsters, I had an idea in my head that I really, really liked, and I presented it on our communicator, and well, the idea itself wasn't that bad, but it didn't match the lore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, well, I had to change it, and I was kind of frustrated about it, but I got their point, right?
I see. So it was like also win-win. You learn from it, and they learn from it too. Okay. So going back to learning 3D animation and animating procedure, what was the helping hand in your life when you started learning it? Like, did you learn from books, from internet, or also in school? All of them combined? How do you feel about it? What's the
Well,
story behind it?
my first encounter with 3D animation was in university.
Okay.
We had this one semester of 3D animation. Well, actually, it was storyboarding, but it was called storyboarding.
Okay.
But the guy came
Stories
in
that
and said,
always there. See.
"Yeah," but the guy came in and he said, "You know what? I don't know anything about drawing. I'm gonna do that 3D animation for you." And that's how I had the first encounter. Though I wasn't really good at it because I didn't care at the time.
So you
And
weren't
I
making
just
any animations before that, right? If I'm
no.
correct. Okay.
So I just did what I had to do to get the mark and be done with it.
You did not know
But
that you will be working in this field.
yeah, basically. But at the time, I was like, well, a lot of people are complaining that it's hard, that it's annoying,
Okay.
and I was like, well, it's not that bad. I just didn't really wanted to put the effort in it because there were a lot of other things I had to deal with.
I see.
But then I needed a job, and as I said, I was looking for my own path, and well, 3D animation kind of, well, as I said, I didn't really dislike it, and since, well, it was needed in in game dev at the time, I was like, well, I'm gonna try 3D animation. and I started learning from internet in Blender, and basically there was a guy in that, well, he taught us not animation but level design and stuff like that,
I see.
and he owns Carbon Studio, and well, he told me and my boyfriend at the time, he told me and my boyfriend that he needs an animator and a level designer. And I said, well, I'm learning to be an animator, and my boyfriend learns to be a level designer. So, and he said, well, send a CV, and I did, and I did an art test that I also sent to a friend of mine who worked there also as a 3D animator, and he evaluated it, gave me some feedback, and then I sent it to the studio, and I got in. And that friend actually helped me a lot. He was my lead at the time, and well, he really taught me more than the internet did, definitely. But we had our problems at the beginning, but well, after talking it out a bit, we got it right.
I see. Do you agree, or do you feel like, it's the right word to ask with? Do you feel like it is important to have a mentor if you are learning something?
Depends.
Okay.
It really depends on a person, really, because I know people who prefer to just confine themselves in the rooms and learn stuff on their own,
I see.
and that's fine. And they are great at the things they do, but there are other people who just like to have someone above them that will tell them how to do stuff. And well, I like having both. I like to get on a tutorial and learn things by myself, but it's also very, very nice when someone mentors me.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah. And what was, so when you started working on the game, like, what do you feel was the hardest part about like making your work come to life? Like, what was the hardest part?
In general, or in thaumaturge?
In thaumaturge, yeah, in thaumaturge.
Okay.
For thaumaturge, yeah.
Well, you see, when we worked on motion capture,
okay,
it was kind of hard to make the gestures look real, as in, well, because you see, when you animate, you have to balance between the realism and the visibility.
Yeah.
Because realistic movements are not actually visible for the game. When you see animations in games, they're always exaggerated to a point.
Yeah.
But they're always exaggerated so that they are visible. And the balance was very tricky in this case, because, well, at the same time we wanted to make them realistic, but also we had to exaggerate at least a bit.
I see.
To give it more expression.
I see. Okay. And so I guess that you have learned from that a lot of new skills, I guess, that you can use in the future.
I
nice.
kind of I had to learn to balance it because, well, before when I worked on the VR games, I had to move more towards the exaggerated because, well, I was mostly animating monsters.
I see.
And the combat animations, so they really needed to be very visible and at the same time work for VR. It's a very different environment for a game. So, I was mostly into the exaggeration, and now I had to balance the exaggeration towards the realistic.
I see. And which was your favorite monster? Who was your favorite monster to come to life or make happen to be in the game? Favorite monster, without spoilers,
it was
of
Golem.
course. Okay.
It was Golem. Yeah. I really like the heaviness of it, and how well the golem has this hand that's a statue's head, and well, making it heavy enough was I think my favorite part.
I see. And by designing the colors of the game, like, did you have the option to be influenced by your own ideas as well, or there was like a strict rule that you have to do this and that with those colors, or how did it work for you?
Well, mostly it wasn't that strict.
Okay.
We have the lore,
Okay.
and we have to stick to the lore.
I see.
But we're allowed to have put some imagination into it, right? So that, but at the same time, we had to make it in a way that fits the screen because of the
Okay.
because of the combat, environment, so that it doesn't, cover the camera or something like that. So, or I don't know. Let's say there was an animation that was problematic because it didn't fit into small spaces, and yeah, we had to deal with that. But other than that, well, it was just whatever you like, as long as everyone else likes it too.
I see. So it was interesting to see in the demo of the game that I played that there is this red and darkish colors combined together, and there's like a beauty in it. Like it's still darker lore and darker story, but there's also a beauty in it. So what's the story behind it? Like, how did you manage to use these colors in order to, like, have also a positive vibe in the game, not just a negative one, not just a, bad guys killing stuff, blood
Well,
everywhere, but still
you
there is
see,
a beauty if you play the demo and the whole game as well. Like, you have these warmth moments of people talking to each other and these nice touches from the game. So it was very interesting for me to see that. So
well, I'm not really into the narrative design of the
okay,
game, but well, from what I can think of, is that we wanted to show like some of the characters, they are not black and white.
I see.
They are not completely bad or completely good. They all have their own intentions, and there is good in bad people, and there is
Yeah,
bad
true.
in good people, right?
True.
So when there is, when you talk about colors, there is this greedy dark atmosphere before the war, right? But there are still good people around, and
Yeah.
there are still people who see those colors and who want to help. So I think that would be the answer, but I'm not completely sure.
And do you think, like, the game shows that, like, in these times during the war, like, killing the wrong people justifies that they are doing this, or the main protagonist is doing this for, like, a good cause? Or what do you think about it? How do you feel about that? Like, when he is, like, against those bad guys, if you can say so, then it justifies his doings, his
Oh, you
killings.
see,
Because the
in
game
most of
also always questioning it in every way, like in a story way and more like a form of arts, we could say as well.
I don't want to spoiler because I didn't play the whole game,
Okay.
but in most of the cases you don't really kill those people.
Okay.
As a protagonist, well, you get into street brawls, more of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there are guns and swords on the screen, but they are not really killing each other.
Okay.
When you finish combat, sometimes you can see the characters just sitting on the ground defeated,
So
but
it's
not
like more
dead.
of a symbolic fight, I guess. No?
Yeah,
could say
as I
so.
said, they are more of a street brawls than
I see.
than actual killings. You don't go around murdering people in Warsaw.
I got
Actually,
it. Yeah. No, it's just, of course, I asked it because there is like blood in the game, and it shows like they would die, but they are also living, and that's what I wanted to ask. That if do you feel like it justifies that you are into the fight with the protagonist? Do you feel like it justifies to be aggressive against them, or not just to talk with them? Not in a polite way.
well, in many cases you have a choice not to fight with them.
Okay.
But when you do fight with them, well, in many cases they are the first ones to attack you. Not all of them, but many times, like they are the one that's starting the fight.
I see.
So you just defend yourself. But when you really start the fight, well, I'm not saying it really justifies killing people around, but it's a game, right? We have to balance between, as I said, between realism and gameplay.
No, I
And
wasn't
gameplay
saying
has
it's a
to win.
bad thing, but the story
Yeah.
is like capturing all those moments when the main hero is questioning himself, or is he right about doing this or that? That's why I was asking this question. Yeah.
Well,
So
he
there is
has
a
a
lot.
lot of drama in his head in
Yeah,
general.
true. Yeah.
But I don't see really Victor questioning his choices when it comes to his brawling.
Okay. And
He feels like he is doing the right thing at the time.
okay. And what do you think like was the most important thing when designing the city in the game?
Well, definitely the well, what's the word? I keep forgetting words.
It's okay.
They wanted to do justice to the real Warsaw that was
Okay.
before the war, because after the war, during the war, Warsaw was completely destroyed, like decimated. There's like nothing left, almost nothing left, and they had to reconstruct the Warsaw from before the war. They used old sketches, they used old photos, and all of the sources that they could get their hands on from 1905 and earlier, so that they could reconstruct the Warsaw that was then, and we can see it now.
I see. Okay. And
So the main struggle was, and the main goal was to make it feel like you could visit those places, like the Powązki Cemetery. It's real. It's there.
yeah.
There was the synagogue and then plenty of other buildings. So yeah, I guess that would be it.
Do you think that those people who have never been to Warsaw will also appreciate those segments of the game? Like, do they realize that these are actual places, or how do you
I
feel
don't.
about that?
I think that people that are not from Poland will probably not think about it that much.
Okay.
Because Polish people like to think that Poland actually interests people, other people, but it doesn't that much. Let's be honest. But
why? Why do you think so?
Well, let's see. Most of the when you think Polish games, you think Witcher mostly, and Cyberpunk, and I don't know, Dying Light.
But
You
Thaumaturge
don't
is
really.
also a very famous game and an awesome game, so don't say that.
Yes, but
You cannot say it's
I mean
people are not
globally.
interested.
After all,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Thaumaturge is not known globally, but
Okay.
I'm saying the first thing that comes to your mind, right? But there are plenty of games that take place in Poland, and they're not that popular really. And
What can be the case behind that? What do you think that can be the case behind that?
Exactly the case that, well, apart from, gameplay that either brings people in or not, or the marketing, because, well, it's mostly about marketing, right? And the amount of
true.
money you pour into that, or even if you get a lot of marketing, you still can flop.
Yeah.
But sorry, something got on my nose.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay. People are not that interested in Poland, really. Like, there's nothing to it. Yes, it's a great country. You can see great things here, but when you talk to a person in the USA, let's say, or I don't know, Australia, they don't really care that much. But going back to Thaumaturge, I think the people that like to get into lore and that like to dive deep into the games, they will appreciate it.
I see.
But the others will just see it as a just a
Common
random
thing.
place. Yeah.
They
won't really think that much about it. They won't research that this Warsaw doesn't exist anymore.
I see. Yeah, but in my opinion, it's like also a history book comes to life, the game, because like people can learn from it if they are willing to, of course, like you said before. Yeah. Okay. So I know it's not especially was your parts of your job like designing the turn-based system, but what do you think that was the choice behind the turn-based system in the game? Like, because we were talking about like it's a more hardcore gameplay elements puts into Thaumaturge, and especially for me, I love turn-based games because Final Fantasy X is my all-time favorite game. So I'm pretty much into turn-based system games that have this system. But a lot of people don't. So what made the developers think of like the system to be built in the game? What do you think was the idea and how they managed to push forward with it? And
well, when it comes to turn-based systems, it polarizes people a lot.
Okay.
But in Thaumaturge, well, as I said before, it's when you have combat in Thaumaturge, it's mostly scripted combat. I mean, it's always scripted combat. You don't have random encounters. You don't go around Warsaw and a random guy just picks a fight with you. That doesn't happen. You have scripted encounters, and, well, they are mostly, as I said, just, fist fights, street brawls, stuff like that. So to get the better feeling of it, our designers thought that, well, turn-based system will work better, especially with the salutars to show the reaction of how the salutars appear in a fight. They are these esoteric monsters that, well, people that fight with you, they don't know if it's a hallucination or something. They are not sure what's happening. So to show them better, that's why the turn-based system was introduced.
I see. Okay, going back for the monsters, do you believe in monsters? I know it's a weird question, but I'm interested in that if you're believing in monsters or any life, other than humans, human beings.
There is the thing when that I don't really know how to say it. Like there are the girl has two swords, right? One is for the monsters and the other is for the monsters. You see where I'm getting? I don't believe in any like
spiritual
stuff. Yeah, I'm not that kind of person. I don't really get into it. But I don't believe in ghosts or monsters or anything like that.
Okay.
But there are monsters, walking around
in real life, exactly.
In the real life.
True. We don't need spiritual stuff anymore. Yeah, exactly. Okay. But would you like to have like these spiritual powers like the main protagonist in the game? sometimes solves something for you with the ghost or the monster? Would it be cool?
I think it would be kind of overwhelming.
Okay.
Because
Would you be
Victor, he
scared about
sees,
them for the first time if you see?
well, not about the monsters it's themselves, but like the protagonist has this ability to see more, to see the emotions, to see traces of emotions on objects. He has this deeper insight into things, and sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of overwhelming.
I see.
But yeah, having a monster by my side would be cool.
To help you in some bad cases in your life, yeah. Okay, so and when you were designing the monsters, what influences did you have during that time, during your work? What was the main influences behind
Well,
designing your monsters?
all of the monsters are based on something, some stories, some folk tales.
Okay.
For example, Morana is in Poland. She's called Marzanna. This is the kind of ritual of drowning the Morana. It's a puppet on a stick.
Okay.
That you have to drown to get rid of winter.
I see. Okay. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Have you read
It's,
these folk tales before you got into working on this game, or you never heard about these folk tales before?
I've heard about some of them.
Okay.
But not all of them. Like the Murana tale is like you don't really have to read about folk tales to know about it. It's just there. It's like this kind of story that everyone knows.
Yeah.
You get to a random guy in Poland and ask him what a Marzanna is, and he will tell you. But there are the other monsters like Kavach, he's Sirmian. I have no idea what that came from and what that really is. I mean, I read it once to get into the lore, but honestly, I forgot.
I see.
Upper is not a folk tale. He's kind of well, Upper is like a wraith. It translates into a wraith, and he is this kind of wraith of an old rich guy from the old times.
I see. Okay.
There's also the golem. Golem is a Jewish construct.
I see.
Veles is also Slavic. He was a Slavic god. That was portrayed as a snake-ish, kind of, with gold horns. I think I might, do a heresy here, but don't quote me on that.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
But but yeah, Veles is definitely Slavic. Lelek is, I think, also Slavic. It comes from this kind of mischievous creature that caused chaos in villages. Actually, Lelek is a name of an actual bird.
Oh, okay.
I checked this once. Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, there's also something else, but I'm gonna Google it. Give me a moment.
Google our best friend.
Yeah, it's an European nightjar.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's a nocturnal bird. Yeah. And what were the other saltos? I don't think I know stories behind the others.
But they are great stories. But okay, do you think like so? What do you think like is the common between all of our nation's folk tales? Because all countries have their own folk tales, but like there is a similarity between these folk tales. Why do you think like it's all come to life like this, that we all have, you know, the common knowledge of like things in our life and we still name it different? Why do you think it's like
there
that
was a name for it, actually. There is a name for this phenomenon.
Okay.
I don't remember the name. I think it's Collective Mind or something like
Yeah,
that.
okay.
I don't
Yeah.
remember, but it happened for years before that. Like there were sun gods in multiple places. Like the
Yeah.
Aztecs had sun gods, the Egyptians had sun gods, and so on and so forth. It just goes on. So I think it's just that we all are kind of similar. We all think kind of similar.
True.
So that's why we come up with the same things. We just name them differently.
Yeah, but
Like,
why then we are like diverted between those things, you know? The question goes like that. Like if we still use the common knowledge, we still like, you know, name them similar names or similar, you know, influences of the names and of the things that they represent, but we still diverted
so
between
that's a
those
very
things.
psychological question that I can answer.
But what do you think about it? No, what do you think about it? What's your opinion about that?
I don't think I have an opinion about that. I mean, well, when it comes to monsters, right? There's always this monsters come, I think, from the feeling that there's something in the shadows moving, right?
Okay.
More or less. Like we want to believe that there is something more. And I never really thought about it. Like
Okay.
when you have these monsters, let's say, oh, let's take Japanese, right?
Yes.
They have this whole
Lore.
book of monsters that
Yeah.
there's plenty of them, like
Yeah.
all the tricksters and onis and stuff. Like
Yeah.
there's a whole lot of them, and then you get into Slavic folklore that have similar things. Like we also have tricksters. We also have I know some kind of boogeymans. There was a trickster in Nordic mythology. So but let's say all of these people they need to feel that their option is the right one. So I think that's like the Vikings would argue that, I mean, I think they would, that their trickster is the real one and not the kitsune or whatever the Japanese
Yeah, I
had.
got you. Yeah.
So they would, yeah, I think that's the really issue. Everyone wants to be right.
I see.
So they have this thing in their head that this thing is called like that, and it does this, and this is how it really is, because that's how it always was, and that's how my grandma told me that it was.
Yeah. That we learned from our parents and grandparents. Yeah. Okay. So as for going deeper into people's opinions and people's minds, so how do you feel like as a developer and also as a team, um, negative and positive response can influence your future projects on or your work? If you, for example, see the Steam opinions, Steam reviews of the game, how can it influence your everyday life? If it's a bad opinion or a very negative opinion, or is it a positive opinion? Do you care about those opinions or not that much? Or
I learned not to care
okay,
for most of the part, because, well, there was this thing that I discussed once with a guy on Pixel Heaven. Actually, we just randomly met and started to talk about things,
okay,
and and we said that most the people that argue on the internet are the people that have a lot of time, so they're mostly just either very bitter people or kids. So I'm not gonna, well, kind of, I know it's a bit dramatic, but I don't care that much. Like, let's say there were opinions that animations in Thaumaturge are janky.
Okay.
Plenty. Like there were reviews saying that they're janky, that they're bad, they don't like them, and so on and so forth. And at the very beginning, I was like, well, they kind of are.
So
Sometimes.
at the beginning, you questioned your work, if I'm
Yeah, at
correct?
the beginning, I questioned my work, but then I thought, well, we had the budget and we had the technology that we had, and we did the best we could with it.
Okay.
So so I learned to just move along with it. Like this is their opinion, like or the
Was it
people that
hard?
just
Was it hard to learn that?
mm,
Was it a long process for you?
not that much really.
Okay.
But I can I can just put a wall between me and
Convenience.
reviews on Steam. Like well, most of these opinions are subjective, right?
Yeah, true.
It's not like the very truth and this is really how it is and you did a shitty job.
Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
were plenty of reviews that that said that they didn't like the combat system because it's turn-based, or that
Yeah.
they didn't like the pace of the game because it was too slow. Well, the game is not for you. That's it.
Yeah.
And well, it definitely had some impact, right?
Okay.
In general.
Was there anything
Um,
that you changed on the go of the developing process where you like seeing some negative comments as for the demo of the game?
mm,
Do you feel like you changed
Not that
something?
much.
Okay.
I didn't.
Okay.
Uh,
And as a
I
team?
think, and as general as Hamator's team, I think there were changes.
Okay.
There were changes. There were like the demo got a lot of feedback, like not on the by the reviewers, but there was this questionnaire that they sent to people to give the feedback in general,
I see.
and they're based apparently based some changes on that definitely, and stuff like bugs, etc.
I see. And do you
A
think
lot of
like oh sorry, go
Mhm.
for that. Go for that, sorry.
No, just a lot of bugs were fixed thanks to the community feedback.
I see. Do you think like if the players actually could see behind the curtain and see the actual developing process of games, they could understand them more, and by that they won't be that judgy or they won't judge that much like they do now?
Uh,
Because like you were saying that sometimes or mostly they are judging games because they don't see your work and what you have to put there on the table to make it happen as into the game, and
I
also the
like the
budget, of course.
I like the example of the leaked GTA 6.
Okay.
Uh, because when there was the leak, it was like very early build. It was
Yeah.
blockouts and stuff,
Yeah.
and people just raged about it for days that they wanted to sue the Rockstar and so on.
It's not that a
It was
good
like,
game. Like we were waiting for it, and it's a
dude,
bad game. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah,
The
and
power of the
as
haters.
as a developer, I could see that this is just an early build, normal
Yeah.
stuff. And for them, it was unbelievable that a game could look like that. Um, so if they knew how development works, maybe they wouldn't be as judgy.
Okay.
But I mean, they have the right to judge. They are the consumers.
Yeah, but
They
as the
buy a product.
developers, you also have the right to like know what's good for them, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it's your game, not theirs. So I mean, it's theirs to play, but it's yours to make. So there's a
yes.
balance between that, and yeah, I think the balance
Yeah.
goes for like more for the developers, in my opinion, because like
Mhm.
in my opinion, when there was like the first golden era of video games, back in before or at the beginning of 2000, I feel like people weren't that judgy. and there weren't that many people who actually played video games. Now video games is like a trend, like playing games is a trend now, and not it's like a hobby or a thing that people were bullied for in school. It's now like everyone is playing. Even my friend's mom is playing, who is 60 or 70 years old, which is weird for me. But yeah, so I think like it's changed a lot since a lot of newcomers are to the video game industry as players, and by that I think that a lot of players are not into gaming that much, that they read about the developing process, like you said, as for mentioning your perfect example about GTA 6, yeah, that they didn't see that, okay, it's not the final product, like you have to wake up. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you see, when you said about games in 2000s, right? When the games came out in early 2000s, they were on discs, right?
Yeah,
On
that's what
CDs,
I'm always
and
saying.
they
Now
were
you can patch
finished
out.
products.
Yeah,
Yeah,
now you
you
can
have
patch
a
out.
finished product and you
Yeah,
deal with it. You
yeah,
bought the product, you deal with it. There are no patches. There was no real actual contact with the developers because internet wasn't that popular.
do you think like
Uh,
patches made developers a bit lazier, if you can say so? Like,
um, kind of, but it's really how to say it.
not to say in a wrong way. Don't get me
I know, I
wrong.
know, I
So
know.
it's not a wrong
But
thing, but it's just like they are more lazy is not the right word, because it's not intentional to be lazy. It's just, it's easier to, say that, okay, my game is maybe not 100% finished, but I will give out to the players and I will fix it later if they are not bigger bugs. So yeah, I'd
well,
say it's
the
that
games.
easier.
Mm-hmm. The games. The thousands games, right? They were. We call them finished products, but it's not like they weren't buggy. They were. Just not as much, and the budgets were lower, and the
Yeah,
expectations were lower.
yeah,
Always, the expectations were lower. That's very important in this case. Um, the projects were smaller, right? In general.
yeah,
But now in 2024, the games have like these huge budgets, huge teams making them, and games became they always were a business, but now they are like a very profitable business, let's say, for investors, because people don't really think about it, but most of the studios need investors, and it's the investors' call many times that the game has to come out at this exact time because they want the profits. And the game is not finished, but you can patch it.
yeah,
So it's not just the laziness, if we can call it like that. Uh, it's the process of making a game has changed in
yeah,
general from the financial perspective
yeah,
also. When you get this huge investor, they want the profit, right? So they kind of push you to, release the game.
yeah,
They also kind of don't get that, well, when game earns, let's say, X amount of money in 1 year, that the profit won't really double next year
yeah.
because the well doesn't really work like that. So
Yeah, I mean, in some cases it can
mhm.
happen if there is a hype going around about a game,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's rare. Yeah,
it's rare,
it's
definitely.
rare. Yeah,
Like most of the games, they earn most of their revenue right after the release.
yeah,
I mean, it's just I'm not saying that I don't have the exact data on
yeah. I
it.
see. Yeah, yeah,
It's just what I've observed.
yeah,
But now that we can patch the game, we have the time to develop, to make the game, and then we can make more.
Yeah,
And
true. Also, the patches are good for DLCs. Yeah, which
so
is great.
that
Yeah,
well, there are bugs, and there always be bugs. And in the old games, there were also plenty of bugs. People just don't remember it because they're very nostalgic about it.
True, exactly. Yeah.
But
yeah, and sometimes we
now
called
that
games hard, and they were buggy, not hard.
yeah, basically. So yeah, the ability to patch the game on the go may have made some people, let's say, lazy, but it also gives a lot of opportunities for developers,
true.
right?
I agree. Totally agree.
On the other hand, as you said, well, gaming became very mainstream.
Yeah, true.
So there's a lot of people playing games, like a lot of people playing games. We don't even realize it. But there's, plenty of people who just sit, on the toilet with their mobile device and then just playing stuff, like Diablo Immortal or whatever it is that people play on their phones right now. So well, the community has grown and they have expectations that vary, but still they have expectations. So sometimes they don't really know what they want.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, is that like as a developer, you are a creative person or a creative team together, and you create something that it's out from your mind. But how is a player can wait for something that they don't know what it is? Like, how can you also judge without knowing what it is? It was always weird for me to realize that a lot of people are judging these games not really knowing what they want. So okay, what you want, what you want from that game. Okay, for example, Thaumaturge, like, okay, what you want to be good, because a lot of people are just saying, okay, I want the game to be good, but how? Okay, let's say how. And if you ask them this question, they won't be able to answer, because like they're not into the creative side of making a game, or even playing the game for a creative side. Okay, for example, they would say, okay, I want the story to be good. Okay, but how good? Why good? What is good for you? Like, and that's the hard part. That's the hard part, in my opinion. And with the hard part,
you can't cater to all of the tastes. It's impossible.
True. And with the hard part of like saying what's good for you comes the easy part of being easier to judge, because okay, you say it's not good, but okay, it's still hard to say why it's not good for you. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So well, Thaumaturge had this problem, like a problem. It's not really a problem, but well, it's not a game for everyone, right? It's slow paced. It's turn based. It requires you to actually get into the story, like not to skip dialogues, because if you skip dialogues, you won't really get to play the game.
Yeah, true.
So
do you think like people skip dialogues because they don't have the time to play through the whole game or the whole games?
I don't think they don't have the time. I just think they're not interested. Like, I'm gonna base it on myself.
Okay.
Like when I play games, sometimes I'm just not interested in the story. I just skip for dialogues. When I played Path of Exile, I skipped all of the dialogues. I have no idea what the real story is. I just rushed through the maps to get to the end game. Yeah, and that's it. So in this case, they're probably not that interested in the story, because if they were, they would read the dialogues.
I see. Yeah, that's when people are playing games for different reasons. Like some of them are playing for the story, and some of them, for example, the gameplay, the audio side, or the music, the cinematics, the experience. Okay, so I asked you this at Pixel Heaven as well, but I'm asking you it again. What about the console version of the game? Do you know?
There will be a console version.
There will be. Okay, nothing, no more information. Okay.
No more information.
Okay, and what about like physical and collector's edition? Also no information.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I cannot tell you anything about that.
Okay. And what are you planning to do in the future as a developer? Are you still like planning to make games, or are you planning to also like go to a different territory as a developer, not a 3D animator, or are you trying to like push your boundaries? Have you been thinking of that?
No, I think I'm gonna stay in games in general. I like games. It's kind of my comfort zone, and I don't have the urge to go out of my comfort zone and explore.
I see.
Like, it's great that people have it and go on, do it. I'm fairly
but it's
happy
okay.
with
It's okay.
games.
It's okay. I'm not saying it's
And
bad. It's just I was
I get
interested.
it. I just don't want to seem like this kind of person that judges stuff. No, I mean it's fine. But I like to I'd like to stay in gaming.
I see.
Definitely.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to mention about the developing process or you being a developer or about the game? Anything that that comes to your mind? Any interesting story behind it or
There's plenty of interesting stories. They're all behind NDA.
okay.
But like there was this thing about Polish press being very strict about thaumaturgy because
Okay.
we didn't have Polish voiceovers.
Okay.
And they were very bitter about it. Even though we planned to have Polish voiceovers.
You just didn't find the right ones, or what was the
No,
problem?
we well, you see, it just didn't fit in the deadlines that we had set. That's the first thing, and the other was, well, it takes time, it takes budget, and we just wanted to see first if it really will work with the actors that we chose and so on. Well, it's also costly, especially well, it's easier to find English actors than Polish actors. Polish actors are also a bit more expensive, as far as I know. Well, a lot of them actually, well, most of the main actors in Thaumaturge in the English voiceovers are actually Polish people that stayed for the Polish voiceover. And well, I think it's kind of unfair that we got a lot of this bad press because we didn't have the Polish voiceover. But you see, there are priorities, right? Like when we released the game, we wanted to go global, right? We don't want to send it only in Poland.
Yeah,
we want to send it everywhere.
True. Yeah.
So we had to, decide on the English only voiceover for the beginning, so that everyone could play it.
Yeah.
And well, we added the Polish voiceover later, and well, I don't know if it in any way influenced the sales of the game. I know a lot of Polish people said that they will play again to to see the Polish voiceover, but it was kind of a, let's say it,
bad experience for you.
Not really a bad experience, but
or sad. Let's say less sad.
Kind of sad, yeah. Because Polish press is always strict on Polish games, always. Like it's a rule. But we kind of got kind of frustrated about it.
I see.
But well, it's just their opinion, right?
Yeah, true. Like we were discussing it earlier, that everyone is playing a game for different reason, and yeah, sometimes people can get sad about not playing their game at their own language, but
yeah, there were a lot of questions and discussions.
Yeah, but come on, if it
localize
up,
and this and
yeah,
for this.
That's what I wanted to say. That in Hungary, most of the games are not localized, just for subtitles. But yeah, they are not dubbed. So yeah, that's a question comes from our discussing this topic. Like, do you think like more players would play the games if they would be localized in every country or every region? Do you think that
yes,
it
but
would
it's
level
impossible.
up the sales as well?
I don't think it would level up the sales that much to make it profitable.
Okay.
The trade is too risky. Like let's say if we want to localize to X language, because I don't want to mention any particular one.
Okay.
If you want to localize to X language, you have to think about amount of people that will buy the game there because of this language, and how much it will cost you.
I see.
So, well, definitely more people would buy.
Okay.
Let's say if the game was localized to their language, but I think it wouldn't be profitable enough for the developers to do it.
I see. Okay.
They have to weigh the risks. That's all.
I see. Okay. Do you think like there's like how to ask this, like people in Poland have learned English enough to understand the game in English with English voiceovers? Like, do they still be able to enjoy it, or can they also learn from the English voiceovers? Do you think like it's still a thing in our life, like it used to be, like people are learning English or other languages from a game? Do you think it's good?
It's definitely still there.
Okay.
Like people learning from games or from cultural products in general.
Yeah, true.
To learn language or to
Okay.
well, if the question if enough people in Poland learned English to enjoy the game, it's really hard to say. I have this this fallacy of mine that I am around a lot of people who know English.
Okay.
Because well, I work in an environment when we have to talk in English. Though actually there is this thing in.
Do Poland school like strict about learning English? Like, is it a must to do that in schools?
Yes, but
Okay.
it's kind of when it comes to
I remember you told me at Pixel Heaven it's not the best. Like, I remember
it's
that.
not the best. Yeah, the quality of the lessons are, well, the lessons are there. Okay, whether you get anything
But you
out of
won't
it.
be a master of English. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely
Yeah.
won't be a master of English. I don't think you'd be even able to. Well, you would probably try to communicate with a foreigner, but the result would be, well, not great. Let's say not great.
I see.
So there's a lot of people in Poland still that don't know English enough to play games in English.
I see.
Definitely. A lot of gamers. I see this on, let's say, on socials, that a lot of people like. There's a Switch group, a Nintendo Switch group, that a lot of people there ask if it's local, if the game is localized in Polish, because they don't play in English, and well, they're often disappointed that it's not. But I think, like, as I said, I am around a lot of people who know English, right? Because I studied English philology, first of all, and at work we have to all talk in. Sorry, phone.
No, it's okay.
We have to all talk in English because we have foreigners in our studio. But there are still people even in our team that are not comfortable with speaking in English. They get lessons, that are funded by the company, and I think it's great that they get to learn. But yeah, I think more Polish people would play more games if they were in Polish.
Okay. Nice. Okay, so before we close our interview and before we get the chance to people ask their questions, if you're also down to that for a little bit at the stream, I would like to ask you: do you have any idols in animation, like in making animations, like people you look up to in your life?
Oh, idols.
Or people who you have been influenced by?
Well, I wouldn't call them idols, but definitely I was influenced by my first lead. As I said first, I definitely got some of my animating style from him.
Okay.
It's always like that. When you have a mentor, you kind of copy them, and that's how it works.
I see.
There's this French guy on YouTube that that makes tutorials for Blender, and he has this I think $60 tutorial and so on, like a lot of videos for learning Blender.
I see.
And I'd say he influenced me a lot. But I don't really remember his name. But
Do
never
they
mind.
know? Do these people know that you actually worked on this game and you became a 3D animator?
My lead knows.
Okay.
Yeah, and well, the other guy, I don't think he does, because he's just posting tutorials on YouTube.
I see. And did your lead like played through the game or see or saw segments of it? Like.
According to my Steam, no.
Okay. Then
It's possible that
he or she should.
he waits for the console version.
Oh, okay. So he's a console player as well. Okay. Just like me. I see.
Actually, a lot of my friends are waiting for the console version.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. And which is the platform for you to play on, console or PC or both?
Well, I always used to be PC player only.
Okay.
Only recently I kind of got myself to buy all the stuff I always wanted. So now I have a PlayStation 5 and
Nice.
Switch and Steam Deck. But well, I wouldn't commit myself to PC right now completely, because I like to play on consoles. And there are days when I just want to, lie on the couch and get my Steam Deck or Switch and just, not really move anywhere.
Yeah. Comfortable feeling, yeah.
Yeah, there are games that I would like that I play only on consoles.
Was it hard for you to learn to play with the controller? Switch from PC?
Yes, it was hard for me. The muscle memory, I always had a bit of trouble with muscle memory. The switching from the keyboard to controller was big thing for me to learn all the stuff.
I see.
But I think I almost got it.
Nice.
I'm still not great.
Practice.
I'm still not great about
it. All takes practice. Yeah.
Yeah, I like. I'm definitely better at Souls-like still.
Oh, okay. Are you waiting for Elden Ring DLC though, as well?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm probably not gonna play it anytime soon. My boyfriend is, but me not really. I tried to play Elden Ring. I got like few hours in it, but I still suck. Like hell.
Is it your favorite From Software game, or which one is? If you could
well, I wouldn't call it my favorite, but definitely the one I put most efforts to. Because I always get scared by the difficulty. As an animator, I should really see all the attacks coming, but I really don't.
Slow down the time, in the game, and see when it comes to And do these games that you play are influencing your work as well? Do you feel like they are influencing your ideas?
Yes, definitely. Okay. I spend since I became an animator, I spend a lot of time watching animations in games. Like, let's say,
which games had the most influence on your work as for Thaumaturge? If you can name some of them, or some experiences from games, or animations from games.
Oh, it's really, really hard to get it.
Sorry.
That. Well, I watched a lot of Souls-like games on YouTube to see the animations.
Okay.
But well, they really didn't influence me like that in the case of Thaumaturge because of the the style of the game. But they got me a bit of ideas for my previous games.
I see.
I really like the the cartoonish animations of Hi-Fi Rush, and
Nice.
well, I mostly just, when I play a game, I just, let's say, press W and watch the walk or the run and how good it is. And I'm very judgmental about it. I remember there was this Steel Rising, I think it was the game.
Yeah.
Let me
It's
Google
also a
whether
Souls-like. Yeah, it's also a Souls-like game. Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's the one I think of. Yes, it's the one.
Yeah.
I remember the weird run for the protagonist, and it really threw me off.
Have you became more judgy about games and their animations as you became a developer?
Yes, very.
Okay. Were there
Very. I
times where
became very
you
judgy.
also wrote a review about the game and you were saying, okay, it's not the...
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not really. Well, I wrote few reviews on Steam because I wanted to, support the developer, I guess. But in general, I don't really. I'm not that active, on the internet.
I see.
I'm, a lurker,
I
like you
see.
said. So I'm judgy, but in private.
I see. But you got your opinions
But I
for
also,
yourself.
but I'm also, on the one hand I'm judgy, but on the other hand
You
I
still
see
understand, I guess.
things. I'm more understanding of other things. I see, let's say, a thing in game that I know how it's done and why is it done like that.
I see.
It kind of frustrates me. Let's say this thing in the game, but I know why is it like this, because in another way it would cause problems or something like that. I can see it.
Yeah.
And it
Everyone should be a
impacts my.
developer and they would understand the problems behind the games, I guess. We could agree. Yeah.
Yeah, well, not everyone should be a developer, trust me.
Okay.
Um,
I believe you.
but still, yeah, I think being a developer really changes the way you play games.
I see.
Like, it's kind of annoying sometimes that you play a game and you're, they did this like that, and you can, focus on the game because you're focused on the thing that you
Do you
notice.
think like it takes away a bit from the fun part of playing the game, that you are playing games with more of a developer mind or developer mind?
Kind of.
Okay.
It gives you a different perspective, definitely. It might take away some of the fun, but I know a lot of, maybe not a lot of, okay. I know some developers stop playing that many games because but it's mostly because they spend a lot of time in front of a PC for their work, so they're too tired to play games. But well, there's still a lot of fun in gaming, and I don't think it takes enough fun away from you to stop.
I see. I see. So you still enjoy your games at the
Yeah,
end of the
it
day.
just with a different perspective.
I see. I see. Okay, so yeah, stream people out there, who has any question? Let me know. Let me know if there is any question. If there is any question, let me know. Lurkers, lurkers, wake up and let me know if there is any question. Now you can ask it or ask them if there is any question. Hopefully lurkers will wake up. Yeah.
Animators are not that interesting.
I mean, but we discussed a lot of topics, so if people were lurking and using their ears, then they can think of
Sure.
questions we haven't discussed, haven't discussed yet. So yeah. I will wait for like 1 or 2 minutes, and if there is no question, then we will end our stream here. But yeah.
Sure.
Wake the fuck up. We have a developer to ask. That's right. So yeah, if there is any question, let me know. Let us know. Let us know. Let us know. By the way, is there? I have one. I still have one. Is there any
Okay.
like genre or type of game that you would like to work on, like, or you can think of like any stories or type of games that you always wanted to work on when you were playing games?
I kind of wanted to work on an action RPG.
Okay.
Because well, it has a lot of stuff to do for me basically, but also there are a lot of technical things to deal with.
I see. And what
Um,
is your favorite part of RPGs? Like, is it the story, or is it the lore, or is it all combined together? Everything combined
when
together?
it comes to RPGs, I love the character development.
Okay.
That's the core of RPG.
Yeah, true.
Um, the story is also very important for me in this kind of game, but it's the development that really drives me through the game.
What kind of builds do
I
you like to make in these games?
either rogues or mages.
Okay. Nice. Nice.
Well, if we are talking about, of course, fantasy games, but well, mostly ranged builds in general.
I see.
But yeah, building character is a great mental exercise in a way. And I don't know, I just when I play, I like to see progress. Not only progress the story, but progress of the character
I see.
I'm dealing with. So, for example, I wouldn't like to play like a complete roguelike, like a pure roguelike with no progress. I let's say there's
I mean, there is a progress in roguelike games. It's just different, in my opinion.
yes, it's different, but I like.
And they are more randomized. Like they are not that scripted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
But I
what
get
I
your
mean
point. I
is,
got your point.
yeah,
Just
I need this character development in this type of games, of course.
I see.
I need to see the progress, like you know, even if it's just icons lighting up or something like that. As in, how to say it? I want to see I'm getting stronger,
Is it
and
true
not
for your
just
everyday life too? Not in the game, not for games, but your everyday life too? That you want to see progress in everything? Like,
not in everything really.
okay.
I'm let's say, hmm, how do I call it? I mean, I'd like to progress in things I care about really. Like,
Okay.
I want to be better at my job, right?
Okay.
But there are things that I just I'm fine with them as they are, and I
But
don't really
that's
feel the
totally
need
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It would
I
take
don't really
away.
feel the need to progress,
Yeah,
be better at something.
and
So
it would take away the fun part from some things if you would just care about the progress every time. Yeah, in my opinion, at least. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I think there is no question. Lurkers are still
okay.
lurking, and I don't know. Okay. But yeah, I'm like I said, I'm very honored to be here with you today and
Thank you. Me
to
too.
have this conversation with you. And I'm looking forward to your future projects. So I
Me
hope
too.
that.
Definitely.
Oh, Lukács has a question. If I may, what does it take to get stronger in the environment of development? Oh, it's interesting
what
question. Okay.
what does it take? It takes a lot of work
Okay.
and talking with people.
Okay.
Because well, you can search up tutorials and hone your skills
Okay.
and find better solutions. But also, there are also, like, often you don't really know what you don't know.
Yeah.
So sometimes talking with someone and exchanging your
Informations.
experiences or ideas, information in general, it gives you an idea to what you don't know. So either you can ask them to help you with that, or you just Google the stuff that you suddenly learn that you don't know. So actually, communication in this part is quite important. But yeah, in development, you just have to work more. Like, spend your time doing stuff, and in time you will get better. It's like drawing, right? You just
you will get more
you train
experience by
you
the time.
you train your fingers, your wrist, right?
Yeah.
To be better, to make better lines. And it's the same with development. I mean, well, for example, when you're a designer, you gotta play more games, basically, because from playing games you learn about how to make things in games, which things work better in games, and so on and so forth. So basically, well, mostly depends on what you're doing, but in general, you just have to do stuff. Unfortunately.
Finding the abilities like in-game characters development, right? Yeah.
Basically, yeah. But it's not, you don't have to fight people for that, at least.
Yeah. Okay, so closing question. I thought of another question, and I'm promising it's the last one. So when you like found yourself totally in 3D animation and found your inner self in 3D animation, what did you realize is your own flavor that you brought up to the table as your own flavor of these animations? Because you told me that we were discussing it, and you told me that every person copies a bit of his masters, but they also have their own flavors. So what is your own flavor, and what was your own flavor that you realized, okay, it's me, it's totally me?
I like to add small things.
Okay.
Like let's say there's a basic animation of, walking or gesturing or whatever.
Okay.
I like to add small details to that animation to
Okay.
make it a bit more real, maybe. Stuff like, well, let's say putting down the sword, right?
Okay.
When you put down the sword,
Okay.
you just do this or this.
Okay.
But then you can do this,
Okay.
or you can do this,
Cooler
and so on.
animations.
Yeah, basically,
It's like reload
people don't
animations in FPS games, I guess.
kind of you don't really think about it. I mean, as a player, you don't really see it
I see.
that much, but you kind of realize that there is something more to it than normal
Were there times when
normal
people
movement.
realized these ones and they like messaged you or reviewed, they wrote your review about it, that okay, it's a cool animation, it's totally like surprised me? Can you think of like those times? Or
I think there's
people
just
are
one time that people told me that there were cool animations in my previous game, but
okay.
that would be it.
Okay. Oh, there's also a question. Sorry, I missed that. And where are you meet more with this kind of people to talk about such topics? When do you meet people? I think he wanted to ask.
Okay. Where do well, at work mostly.
Okay.
It's just, well, at this point of your life, you mostly interact with people in your work, and since they are doing similar stuff than I do, then that's where you can meet them. But there are also like discords for developers. Like,
I see.
there's one for animators. It's called Anime State, I think. There are a lot of animators
Is it
there
like a
that discuss.
public Discord? Or...
Yeah, it's a public Discord. That's why I'm openly
Oh,
mentioning
okay,
it.
okay. Yeah, okay. Makes sense.
Yes, and it's just a lot of animators talking about different softwares, different stuff, different new ideas, new tutorials that showed up. Even, I don't know, rigs for people to train with.
I see.
So that would be a cool place to exchange ideas like that.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
And well, there are also like global meetings of developers, like kind of, you can call it parties also. where a lot of developers meet and just talk with beer in their hand and just random stuff.
I see. Okay. And were there ideas that shocked you that these ideas exist or development abilities exists? Like
I
it was very
say-
new to you and you got shocked. Okay, that's completely new to me and I didn't even know that it exists or this exists.
Possibly, but I can't really recall right now.
Okay.
Definitely there was something like that, but really I can't recall.
I see. Okay, if there is any question, let us know. But if there isn't, then yeah. Let me know. Let me know. There were 2 cool questions, but if there is any more, please let us know. Please let us know. Is there anything, by the way, that you can think of to say or that you think of like it's interesting for you to say and for us to hear as well? Because for me, everything is interesting to hear. But yeah, if you have like special stories that is interesting, not just about your game, but about your life or that comes to games or the industry.
Well, it's kind of fascinating for me how the gaming industry grew.
Okay.
In general, like from the player's view and from the developer's view, they're like in Poland. There are like so many studios that I've never heard about, or like there's this website where gaming studios post their job offers in Poland, and often I just see a new name there because I'm not actively looking for a job, but I like to check this particular website to know what's going on in the industry. And there are a lot of new names coming up often, and it's fascinating, especially now that we have a kind of a crisis in game development with all the layoffs and so on. But it really is fascinating how gaming grew from this, this small hobby that some people had and were bullied about in schools.
Yeah, true.
To this mainstream huge business.
Exactly.
That's, well, it's on the one hand good because, well, there's a lot of jobs for us and there's a lot of games for us to play, but on the other hand it grew so huge that
there are too many games to play and we don't have
there are
even
too
that
many
much
games
time.
to play. Yes, and from the business side, all the investors that want to invest in games, but they don't really understand the products and so on.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Do you think that it would be easier for both sides, not just the developer sides, but for publishers as well, if the publishers and the investors also would understand their projects better? Like, would they?
I mean, publishers understand them well enough. It's more about the big money, right?
Okay.
But it's really hard to say. I'm not really that good in the economy or anything like that to make an action, to have an opinion, really. So, can say.
I see. Okay. Yeah, there is also another question. Okay, favorite in-game music as for Thaumaturge?
Combat music, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
It's because I really like violin.
Okay. Have you played the violin?
No, I'm completely musically deaf. Like,
oh, okay.
I love music, I love to sing, but I'm not good at it.
So you sing in the shower when nobody hears you.
Basically, yeah.
But who knows? Maybe you got a good voice and you just don't
No,
know
I
about
don't.
it.
Trust me,
Oh,
I
okay.
don't.
Okay.
I-
Next project, you
Yeah.
are going to be a singer.
No, definitely not. But I really like the pace of that song, and yeah,
Okay.
I love the violin.
I see. Okay. Okay, I don't want to take your time. We had a lot of last questions. So
Sure.
yeah. Thank you so much for your time and for your effort being here with us. And I really appreciate your work as a developer as well and the person as well. So yeah, I hopefully we will meet each other in the future as well. If the new game of yours will be released in any time of the future. And yeah,
Hopefully.
and everyone in the stream, thank you for tuning